Hi guys, I hope you're doing okay today. This lesson is for August the 12th. If you are at home doing your hybrid schedule for your distance learning today, we are going to begin The Telltale Heart. It is one of my favorite stories that we will read this year. To access that information, what you need to do is go to, if you click clever.com, it will ask you, if you haven't already done so, it's going to ask you to put in your username and password. So what you will do once you are logged on, you're going to go down to this red box, McGraw-Hill. Click on that. So once it is uploaded, you're going to go to this first box or whatever. I have all class periods here, but you're going to go to your class period and hit launch for Study Sync. That's our reading program that we're using this year. You want to go up to Core ELA. We are going to Unit 1, Everyone Loves a Mystery. Your screen may look a little different than mine, but mine is integrated reading and writing. Yours is probably just going to be under your assignments page. Yes, yours, you can also access it from the assignments page, and you are going to click on that assignment, and then that lists your names, okay? But for us, let me get back in. Sorry, this is a learning process for me too. So then you're going to see blast, blast away, annotation. We want the Telltale Heart. First read the Telltale Heart. I have to preview this lesson, but yours is an actual assignment. We're going to go ahead and go to read. So here it says, using context clues to make predictions about the bold-faced vocabulary words. Generating questions before, during, and after reading to deepen your understanding of the text. You may use sentence frames such as the following to ask open-ended, higher-level thinking questions about the text. Before reading, what might this text suggest about? Why is blank important? That would be your during reading. After reading, what are the implications of? Notice, and yesterday we talked about annotating. And remember, annotating is just taking notes about what you have read, just so that way you can make those connections, and that way also you can remember exactly what it's just to help you remember what you have read instead of just rushing through something and then forgetting 5 seconds later what it is that it was talking about. So this is what I wanted to show you. Your story will allow you to annotate. So this lets us know to create an annotation, you're going to tab to the button that is near the words you want to annotate, and then press enter to activate the surrounding area of the text. So we're going to try that out. I'm going to read this to you today. Generally, I probably will not read all the stories to you, but Edgar Allan Poe had a way with words, and sometimes that can be a little confusing to students, so I like to help you through that. True, nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous. I had been and am, but why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. So to me, that is something that is really important. So I'm going to put my cursor here, and I'm going to press tab and see what that does. It did not take me to what I wanted. Give me just a minute to bear with me. It's trying to split my screen, so we're just going to do this then. Okay, so area one, I find this to be something that you really need to remember about him asking himself, why do you think I'm mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. So ask yourself, does he think that he has something wrong? Does he think there's something wrong with himself, or does he think that he actually is better? I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. So he thinks there's nothing wrong with him whatsoever. It is impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. So he has this idea that he has come up with, and it is just nagging at him. He cannot let it go. It is just bugging him until he actually puts it into fruition, until he actually acts upon it. Object there was none, passion there was none. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never given me insult. For his gold I had no desire. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. He had the eye of a vulture. We are going to highlight that because that is how he is describing what that man's eye looked like to him. He is describing it and calling it, he's saying it's like a vulture, a pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. And so, by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man and thus rid myself of the eye forever. So, if he is going to take the life of the old man, what is he going to do? Think about that. What is he fixing to do? Or what did he do? Now, this is the point. You fancy me mad. So he knows that they think that he's not healthy minded, that he was insane. Madmen know nothing, but you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation I went to work. I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week before I killed him. So he plotted this. He knew exactly what he planned. He planned to do this. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I'm sorry. So, yes, he planned to kill this old man. And this is somebody that he sees from a day to day basis. It's somebody that the old man trusts him. And every night, about midnight, I turned the latch of his door and opened it, oh, so gently. And then, when I had made an opening sufficient for my head, I put in a dark lantern, all closed that no light shone out, and then I thrust in my head. Oh, you would have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in. I moved it slowly, very, very slowly, so that I might not disturb the old man's sleep. It took me an hour to place my whole head within the opening so far that I could see him as he lay upon his bed. Huh! Would a madman have been so wise as this? And then, when my head was well in the room, I undid the lantern cautiously, oh, so cautiously, cautiously, for the hinges creaked. I undid it so much that a single thin ray fell upon the vulture eye, and this I did for 7 long nights, every night, just at midnight, but I found the eye always closed, and so it was impossible to do the work. For it was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye, and every morning when the day broke, I went boldly into the chamber, and spoke courageously to him, calling him by name in a hearty tone, and inquiring how he has passed the night. So you see, he would have been a very profound old man indeed to suspect that every night, just at 12, I looked in upon him while he slept. Upon the 8th night I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. A watch's minute hand moves more quickly than did mine. So think about that. He just said he cautiously opened the door, and then a watch's minute hand moves more quickly than did mine. So it seemed to him like it took forever. Never before that night had I felt the extent of my own powers, of my sagacity. I could scarcely contain my feelings of triumph. To think that there I was opening the door little by little, and he not even to dream of my secret deeds or thoughts. I fairly chuckled at the idea, and perhaps he heard me, for he moved on the bed suddenly, as if startled. Now, you may think that I drew back, but no. His room was as black as pitch with the thick darkness, for the shutters were close fastened through fear of robbers, and so I knew that he could not see the opening of the door, and I kept pushing it on steadily, steadily. I had my head in, and was about to open the lantern, when my thumb slipped upon the tin fastening, and the old man sprang up in bed, crying out, "Who's there?" I kept quite still and said nothing. For a whole hour I did not move a muscle, and in the meantime I did not hear him lie down. He was still sitting up in the bed listening, just as I have done night after night, hearkening to the death watches in the wall.